Hello, I'm Chris Osmond, and this is my take. When I was talking about the economy yesterday, there was something that I forgot to mention, and that's basically to name the type of currency or to describe the type of currency that America does have. Basically, what it's called is a fiat currency. Fiat means by decree. So it basically means that the currency that we have in America, the US dollar, the value is whatever our government says the value is. It's not really based on anything ever since we went off the gold standard. Now, in the case of America, the way that the value of the dollar has been enforced, at least for the past few decades, is through its military. There is no intrinsic value in the US dollar other than what our government says it is, and their ability to be able to back it up with military strength. And this works whether you agree with it or not, morally or in any other way. This works as long as you have military strength that the rest of the world agrees with. The problem for America, however, is that we haven't won a single war since World War II, basically. I guess other than Venezuela, where the Venezuelans allowed Donald Trump to do like a Soul Train corridor dance, boogieing through in one day and kidnapping the president. Other than that, America hasn't really won a military victory. Look at Vietnam, look at Korea. All of these ended up in America's withdrawal. Basically, the countries that they were fighting were able to withstand America's offensive assault. Okay, so that's what we are dealing with. America has a fiat currency that has no intrinsic value, and our military is not able to back up to backstop the value of the dollar anymore. Now, let's consider what's been going on within America as far as our currency is concerned. What has been allowed to happen in this country is that we've let the wealthy continue to get wealthier and to continue to basically extract a greater portion of the income available in the country, which made it harder for a majority of people, to basically make ends meet and create debt for themselves in order to cover their everyday living expenses. Survival is becoming harder and harder, and this is apparent in the ways in which our poverty has increased, our homelessness has increased, and more Americans are facing food insecurities. Now, I know a lot of people out there will say that, billionaires deserve everything that they get, but let's really look at that and let's really consider what that entails. There is only so much money, regardless of the fact that our government can print forever. It's about the percentages that get distributed to the various groups. So let's say everything is 100%, even whether it's $1 trillion that we print or $1 billion or whatever that value is. Let's say the percentage of the amount of income is going, 50% goes to the wealthier, and the rest of us are able to divide that up. Now, as that percentage increases in favor of the wealthy getting that money, it basically causes the rest of us to have to divide up an ever smaller, shrinking portion of the income available. This is something that you would think that the wealthy would consider as, unrest grows in the United States due to more and more people having it or not being able to afford the things that they need to survive. But the wealthy don't seem to be able to stop themselves. So something has to stop them. What that is, how that looks at the end, I do not want to say, and I really could not say. But it's not going to look good because people are getting more and more upset as days go by. Just look at Trump's poll numbers. The people that endorse him and still stand by him is shrinking on a daily basis as more and more people find it harder just to buy the things they need, just to buy food, clothing, gas, shelter. You cannot, that's an unsustainable system where fewer and fewer people, or more and more people, are finding it harder to live within the system that is set up. Also, look at like a billionaire. This is the way I look at billionaires in society. They have so much money, and it's always increasing, that they have the ability to basically outplay us. So consider a game of poker where you have one player who has so much money that he can keep raising the stakes until everybody else is out of money. that player basically wins by default in certain situations. And that's basically what we have in America. Now, this isn't good, and it shouldn't be the way that we live our lives anymore, and it shouldn't be the way that billionaires even live their lives, because basically their worth has become more about their money, their power and control than what they are as a human being, because they do not seem to care about the plight of other human beings. Now, this is where I will go into capitalism and how it basically requires or enforces insecure wealth inequality. I know many of you have heard the term dog eat dog, and it usually applies to situations where if your dog isn't bigger or the biggest dog in the fight, then he's going to lose. So you have to continue to grow. And in this case, it means you have to continue to grow your wealth. There's another saying in business that goes, if you're not growing, you're dying, which means that if your business isn't getting bigger and bigger and swallowing up the competition, then there is some competition that will be growing bigger and bigger and will eventually swallow up your company. And that is capitalism. While many people will sit there and say that, it's the market drives our economy, that's not necessarily true. There's not really a free market, because the markets are manipulated on a daily basis. Just look at what Donald Trump has been doing with the price of oil. He basically says, oh, we've got to deal with Iran, and then the price of oil goes down. And then the truth comes out, and there was never a deal with Iran. And he keeps saying these things like, oh, we're talking Iran, and that manipulates the price of oil or stocks. And eventually those lies don't stick. And we'll see that the stock market's not going to continue to go up. Oil prices, however, will continue to grow up, which will increase the cost of everything, as you need gasoline for trucks and other vehicles to basically deliver the goods and products that the rest of the world needs. Now, consider this. We have a billionaire, Elon Musk, who a few years ago, I don't know what his wealth is at this moment, but a few years ago it was over $400 billion. Now, if you really consider what that means, think about this. $1 million would have to be multiplied by 1,000 times to equal $1 billion. And then for Elon Musk, you have to take that and multiply it by 400 times. Just do the math yourself and think about if you average the amount of money that he has, or the amount of wealth that he has with his age, you figure out how much money he made per year on average based on his age. It's an outrageous sum. Just consider how many people could have had what is the average salary in America over all those years, as opposed to giving it to one man. Now, many of you will say that he deserves it, but I don't see how anybody deserves enough money to cause so much harm to so many people, and to cause so much harm to be increasing amongst the population. A nation, after all, is a man-made construct. And as a man-made construct, a nation depends on how many people actually do believe in that nation. Otherwise, who would defend a nation they don't believe in? And in America, the belief in our leaders, in our system of governance, in our economy, it's all waning. So where does it break? Where does it give? And like I said, it doesn't seem like the wealthy are willing to stop their ever-increasing hoarding of wealth.
As with the book entitled Solutions, enough complaining, let's fix America. Questions will be asked here to help the masses separate facts from the lies and misinformation our leaders tell us every day. For more tools to help you help your friends and family, get the book mentioned above at Amazon.com today.